Please read the disclaimer. XRP holders, Trump just did it again and canceled basically all the fears. Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, money makers. It was so funny last night. I made the video about XRP, about Trump and the whole situation, the Trump tariff playbook. I uploaded the video. I went to, I already put on my PJs. And suddenly I see the market flip. I'm like, oh my God, what's happening here? And I was like, of course. We're going to get into what happened last night. What did Trump and the EU do? How did the market react? Why the market's not reacting yet in a uber positive way? And there's a lot of other news to talk about. So you're going to want to watch all the way to the end of the video. You get extra credit if you do that. All I ask from you is that you give me a beautiful smile to send out those good vibes. Smishity smash that like button. Let's try to get 2,000 likes. Yes, I'm up in the antes now that there's no situation in Greenland that's off the table. 2,000 likes, right? I'm just going to show you how to do it. You take the finger, right? And you go boop. That's all you got to do. Let's get into it. Currently, XRP is sitting at $1.95, up 0.15% on the day. Not too crazy, right? But this is the juice right here. What happened right here? And wait, I got the video for it. Whoa. So basically, right, we had the situation where, Trump came out with his speech there in Davos, and the market started to go up, right? And people were already starting to make videos. Yay, right? Trump, sent the market up, right? And then we had a headline that there's friction between the EU and Norway foreign minister, and that created a situation where we had that sell-off. I don't remember exactly what the tweet was, but it was something that created a sell-off. And then, right, this happened, and I already saw videos, people saying, "Oh, I'm losing confidence in crypto," things like that. I saw Ron from Crypto Banter saying he's losing, faith in crypto and the potential of bullishness in the market. Right, that was the headline. And then Trump comes out, and the announcement is not that just yet. President Trump cancels the EU tariffs after forming a framework for the Greenland deal. And so this is the deal. Initial details on the Trump-Greenland deal have emerged. It involves small pocket of land for the U.S., involves U.S. in Greenland, U.S. mineral rights. Duration of the deal has an indefinite time frame designed to block Russian influence in Greenland. U.S. Golden Dome system will be involved. This is the new missile system. Opens door to U.S.-backed infrastructure investment. Trump is looking to secure land, minerals, and defense in one deal. And just like that, the playbook, we've been talking about the Kobesi letter playbook here for the tariffs. I kind of laughed out loud when I saw this headline, but it's crazy how he uses the tariffs as this, it's like twisting the arm, like when you have an older brother, they twist your arm. I don't have an older brother. I have, though, 3 boys. And so we horse around a little bit. I only had a younger sister, so now I have, what's it called? Compensation for that, that I didn't have anyone to rough house with when I was a kid. So now I got 3 boys, and we do rough housing, and they're big boys, right? They're like, massive boys. Because my wife is almost as tall as me, so they're big, and they're getting older and they're getting stronger. So it's gonna be interesting. But anyhow, so. It's kind of wild, right? And so the market reacted, boom, right up on the news, but then kind of leveled out here. So if we're looking at XRP, and it's not just XRP, of course, Bitcoin did some, similar. It went up, sold off. Bitcoin was all the way down at 87,000. I think that's where Ron was kind of like losing faith, because it was at a lower level than it was in Wednesday when it closed the gap, right? We talked about how the gap got closed. If you missed that, right? We were talking that the gap, the New Year's gap got closed. And so, actually we can delete it right now because, it's been closed. And now it's interesting. Where do we go from here? Like, do we continue this, and somewhere maybe around March, see a breakout? Or, right, because there's not really anything that's holding the market right now back. The only thing, right, is what happens with the Fed. So now we have the initial jobless claims that's coming out today, the PCE index, which is the data that that the Fed likes to look at, and next week we have the Fed decision, which right now it seems that the Fed is not going to be reducing interest rates according to all the probabilities. You can see I'm looking for a costume for Purim for my son. This Google's giving me all this, but it will be very interesting to see what happens here. And you know, there's good and the bad, right? I give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Before I give you the bad, right, I just want to remind you that this video is for educational purposes, for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Now, this is on the bad side, right? And again, it depends on the data that comes out. Bitcoin has never printed a real all-time high while the ISM PMI was below 50, not once. Right now, the entire cycle was lived under 50. Historically, that means contraction, not expansion, liquidity building, not peaking, accumulation, not distribution. PMI under 50 has always been a buying window, not a top. This isn't the end of the cycle. It's part of the people misread every time. This is interesting. And we'll see when ISM data continues to come out, right? When is the next, will it give it here? Yes, we had not optimism. So we don't have an ISM print here in the next, maybe the week after, right? After, not January 15th, January 30th, maybe we have next month, right? So we'll see next month what the ISM is. Now on the flip side, right? On the flip side of that, whenever the Russell 2000 hits new all-time highs, alt season has started, right? And now the Russell 2000 is at new all-time highs. So on the one hand, you say connect the dots. On the other hand, right, we're waiting for the ISM. So there's good and there's bad in the very short time frame, and there's fear of tariffs, and so that was short term. And we have the bill, right, the crypto bill, and according to resources here, sources, not resources, the crypto market structure bill likely to be delayed to late February or March as Senate Banking Committee pivots to Trump's housing affordability push per Bloomberg. So again, things that were positive or negative for the market are now kind of be putting on the back burner, and we're still waiting for the ISM to come out. This is going to be a very interesting next coming months because again, there's nothing really, there's all these things, and people will say, oh, look at the Japan bond market and all that. And yes, that's a concern. But outside of that, there's nothing really, terrible that is going on right now. The tariffs, the EU tariffs, that was a short-term lived thing, a week, what was that? A week and a half, and now it's gone. And there's going to be something else that's going to pop up. There's going to be something, that moves the market up or down. And we have to go with the flow a little bit. We have to take advantage of these movements, and see what's happening, where it's going on. Now, I still do have the positions open on BYDFI. I'm just going to refresh it there. And you can see that, that they are now back into the green, right? The XRP one went into the red. And because it's a low leverage play, it didn't affect me too much that the market pulled back. Now, if you are interested, we do have a very, very enticing promotion with them, up to 10,000 XRP trade and earn, trading volume over 1 million. You get $130 worth of XRP, 5 million, 330, 20 million, 800, and the 50 million, 2,500, and trading volume over 100 million, those big dogs, get $10,000 worth of XRP. This is real XRP. If you're interested, link is in the description down below, right? So you go to the description and you can either go through my website or I'm going to link it here as well. And so you can check that out. Again, through my website, you can see all of the affiliates here. If it works. Technical difficulty time. I didn't pay my No, it's okay. BYDFI, you can see we have also the other affiliates, all with B. Interesting. And so it will be very interesting. Again, if you do use my link, I will get a commission. Please trade responsibly, right? And we'll see how this market plays out. Okay. So that's very, very important to remember. We'll see what's going on. Let's see. What didn't we talk about here? This is BlackRock. So, there's a lot of things that are coming out of the World Economic Forum, and we have BlackRock saying tokenization is necessary. We have a situation, BlackRock managing 10 trillion, saying markets need to move fast, lower fees, easier movement between money market stocks and bonds, broader access, less friction, less corruption. He even pointed out that Brazil and India are already ahead of the curve while developed markets debate. It's the largest asset manager on earth saying that the rails are changing. When capital this big talks about infrastructure, it's not a thought experiment, it's a direction. He is seeing that things can be a lot better with the different rails, with the blockchain. And when big money pushes for stuff, governments listen, right? When retail says something, governments, right? But when the big dogs, when the donors, when the lobbyists, when they start speaking, the governments start listening. And when they see that this can be better for their bottom line, then they push for it. And that could be very, very big for the crypto market going forward. This was just a reaction I wanted to share with you. We talked about how last night, that Binance was going to finally be listing RLUSD first on Ethereum and then XRPL. So again, more traffic potentially for XRPL here. And Brad said extremely positive to see RLUSD listed on Binance. So it's all the big exchanges right now. And we'll see if RLUSD can actually be one of the most dominant stablecoins out there. It's a thing of a preference of what people are used to, what people are using. We'll see. Maybe institutions will use it. It's a US based stablecoin, so maybe that will give it points. We'll see how that actually plays out. I wanted to talk about this before, but we can. We're supposed to go with the other talk about the ISM and the Russell. But altcoins have been holding their multi-year trend support, while the weekly bullish ascending triangle patterns remains valid. More than 4 years of patience building up to this moment. And again, people are trying to find the silver linings of, so we all thought that it was going to happen in October of 2025. That didn't happen. Now let's see, how can we smush it? How can we mush it? How can we, mold the clay in order to say, okay, now it's going to happen. We don't know if it's going to happen. We don't know if the market's going to break out. A lot of things are still telling us that they are going to break out. Like all the 30 indicators that indicate the end of the bull market, none of them flashed. And so that, is a good thing. But on the flip side, you have, the ISM situation, you have the Japan situation, the fear of that. So there's a lot of things that are happening, and there are still a lot of people that are bullish. ARK Invest CEO Kathy Wood says, we're pretty well through the down cycle here. It will be the shallowest 4-year cycle decline in Bitcoin short history, and then we're off again, right? She thinks that we're going to see a quick turnaround here, and then we're going to see 2026 to be very, very strong. It's, some people are bullish, some people are bearish. This is a very, very confusing market, right? The crypto market is perplexed, and that's not the word. Right? It's confusing people, but what's the word I'm looking for? Let me know in the comment section. People okay, so this is saying maybe we're not going to run. And this is saying maybe we have to be careful here. Flip side, precious metals are running. The M2 was running. Bitcoin usually follows, but now there's a big detach between the two. What's happening here? It doesn't make sense to a lot of people. So it's very confusing. And when it's confusing, people are like, I don't know, right? And then they sit on the sidelines. When you have gold and silver that are running, of course, and stocks are running, and they're like, okay, I'm going to go where the hot stuff is, retail. It's not going to go here, right? And so that's confusing to a lot of people. But, things can flip very, very fast. We've learned this in the past. It needs one thing, one breakout, one, small thing that happens, and then you flip, right? And so it will be very interesting. XRP still has about the same moving average indications here, right? The actions. Did Bitcoin change a little bit? Okay, so we got the hold that changed to a buy from a sell. For the most part, Ethereum back to 3,000. It dipped under 3,000, and now it's dancing around 3,000. Solana at 129. So we'll see what is going to potentially happen here. Some XRPL interesting news. XRPL ledger permission domains have been voted yes and is awaiting 2-week period to go active. The permission domain amendment enables compliant gated environments on the XRP ledger, unlocking institutional use cases by restricting access to accounts with specific verifiable credentials. It powers permission dexes for regulated trading of tokenized securities, stablecoins, RWAs, and FX swaps among verified participants only. Control leading protocols with restricted borrowing, pooling, tokenized assets platform limiting interactions to KYC AML compliant entities, segregated liquidity pools and treasury operations for approved counterparties, and broader regulated DeFi primitives like compliant payment or deposit flows. This bridged traditional finance and blockchain, attracting institutional capital by enforcing jurisdictional rules on public ledger without full centralizations. So again, more things that could potentially, when we have BlackRock here, that could integrate XRPL with the massive amounts of potential money that are going to be flowing through the chains, through tokenization. And so again, another good update here. Hopefully it will go through. And another giant, another crypto company going public tomorrow, BitGo. So, more and more crypto companies, we're seeing this, that are going to the stock market to raise money. Again, Ripple has said that they have no intentions to do that in the short term. They have the capital, they have done the acquisitions that they want to do, and they don't feel that this is the time to do it. It's kind of low right now, just IPOs and crypto in general, I think, in this time frame. So it might not be the best time to do, but sometimes you can't plan it out the best you want. There was a company that back in the day, I was thinking about leaving my job, and I went to a job interview there, and I got accepted, right? And I leveraged that to get a raise at my job. And I didn't going there. Maybe hindsight, I wouldn't. If I would have gone there, then I would probably have never done YouTube. So silver lining, right? But they were talking about then that they were going to IPO. And this was back in 2019, I think, something like that. So what, we're in 2026 and they're still not IPO. They're still a private company. So they were like, one of the things that they were telling me, oh, we're going to IPO soon. And that was one of the selling points. And so they didn't. So it's, things change, things shift. And so maybe in the future, Ripple will IPO, maybe they won't. How will that affect XRP? It will be interesting, because maybe if they do IPO, then they can use some of that money to purchase back some XRP. Maybe there is that treasury company that kind of is going to be doing that. So we'll see what that happens with that in the future with XRP. Don't forget Ripple and the IPO, sorry, and XRP. Don't forget to check out the links in the description down below to BYDFI if you want to start your trading journey. Don't forget to drop a comment, Aid for Infinity and beyond. Did we get to 2,000 likes? Are you number 2,000? Don't look. Just click the like button. Maybe you'll get a surprise. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.